Well, hey guys, Utah Steve, finally back for another video. It's okay, buddy. You can go play. Go play. Go. This time I brought Scraps along. He's not used to going with me when I'm filming, and so it's been a little bit of a challenge. He's walked up here before. We hike up here all the time in this area that I'm in. Kind of gotten out of the habit of saying where the area is because I don't want the whole world coming to my favorite areas. I've seen that happen to the Uintas, and so yeah, it's sometimes not good when people put it out there on YouTube and tell the whole world where something is, and then everybody thinks I want to go there too, and that's cool that you do, but not if everybody does. So Scraps is pretty pooped. Just hiking in, we hit a lot of areas as you saw coming in. He's just laying there catching his breath. He's had plenty to drink. He's just tired. Scraps is almost 9 years old. He and my late St. Bernard Bob were the same age. Of course, little dogs live a lot longer than big ones, so he's probably got another 5 years in him. But I thought he would enjoy coming out and exploring with me, and he's been having a blast. He's been having a good time. It's already catching up with him though. Anyway, where we are is an abandoned campground. I've filmed here before. I've camped here before on numerous occasions. In fact, this was supposed to be an overnight adventure, but a cold front moved in a couple of days ago, and temperatures up here dropped to about 29, 28 degrees. And even though there's no snow and it's nice and green, I really didn't feel like getting off of a long day at work and coming up here and freezing my butt off. Right now it's probably, I don't know, mid-50s, Fahrenheit of course. I'm just up here to spend the whole day exploring and relaxing and videoing and photographing and just spending time with Scraps here. I don't have my kids this weekend. I didn't have anything else going on. So this was, of course, where I wanted to be. Now, a lot of people have asked me about the Uinta trips. It's a much higher elevation than where I am now. But in 2 weeks from the filming of this video, I actually will be having my first foray into the Uintas with my buddy Joe. So that's a future video, and looking forward to it very much. In fact, it will be his birthday. So he and I and another friend of his are going to meet up in the Uintas and have some fun up there. The lower Uintas are probably like this. But the higher up you go, the road isn't quite open. In fact, plows are still working on the highway through the Uintas to have the road cleared by Memorial Day, which by the time you see this, it probably will be Memorial Day. So hopefully that gate opens soon, but we still have to wait for the snow to dissipate at the higher elevations. Last year, at the beginning of June, I went on my Shingle Creek trip that was 2 nights and 3 days, I think. Had some extra time to myself and had a really good time, and I didn't even realize until I looked back at the video that it was that early in the season up there, that it was so snow-free. It looked like this. It was quite beautiful. But it was the beginning of June when I went. Anyway, all we're going to do up here is we're going to check out some of there's only 2 abandoned actual proper campsites left up here. The rest have been taken over by Mother Nature. Tables were removed. There's a platform where an outhouse used to be, but it's not anymore. You can see where the road used to be. The people used to drive through here and camp. Now it's just Mother Nature's reclaiming it, but some people still camp up here. I do, and I know other people do by the looks of the campsite here. People have been up here recently. So the main reason I'm up here is to go to my secret spot. I've made videos at my secret spot before. It's not just this entire area. It's a certain grove of trees up here that has had significant meaning to me, and I haven't been to in 3 years. And the reason why is some life changes took place that I didn't anticipate, and I would just want to see it one last time before I let it go. I kind of want to put it behind me, move forward with my life, and stop dwelling on the past. So, not always easy to do. It has a special, it had a special place in my heart, and had a significant meaning to me, but that situation has left my life completely. So I am just going to go see it one more time, and we're going to throw up a hammock and have some food and explore a little bit while we're up here. I don't want to push Scraps too hard. I have all day. I kind of want to just be up here and relax and get back in touch with nature, kind of get the vibe going again. The backpacking season will especially begin after Memorial Day, but there are already people like me out and about and doing things in nature. I kind of need to shift gears and get out of city mode and back into Utah Steve outdoors mode. So that's what Scraps and I are going to do, and we have to go up the trail a ways, and I'm not going to tell you where the secret spot is, but it's up the trail a ways, and once we get set up, we'll talk some more about what's in this backpack. It's a 50-liter frameless. I brought a lot of stuff, but mostly bulky stuff as usual, not heavy stuff, and thought it would be much colder up here than it is right now. It's noon, and it's going to be in the 60s today, but it's not nearly as cold as it was, so that's a good thing. I'd rather carry stuff out that I didn't use than not have enough with me. So, Scraps, you ready, buddy? Yeah, you ready? That's a good boy, huh? Yeah, who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Alright guys, we are going to hit the trail and go a little further that way, and I'll see you back at the secret spot. I just noticed I bumped a few things on my camera. These touch screens are useful, but kind of annoying when you accidentally bump something and throw off all the settings on your camera. So hopefully this video turns out okay. I'm not sure if my settings are even where they were. Right now I've got a square around my face that didn't used to be there. And I had a grid pattern on my screen too that I figured out how to remove, but hopefully I didn't mess up this whole video. You have to be so careful not to just grab the camera, because if you do, you're gonna push something on this touch screen, and it's frustrating. And another thing I noticed in my last video that you could hear the camera trying to focus in the video. You could hear a little clicking and buzzing sound. That didn't used to be there either, so I must have bumped something. So I tried to fix it. I tried to find a fix on it on the internet, and I couldn't find one. And other people have expressed their frustration with the little sound. The thing is, it didn't used to make that. It's not a new camera. And so when you hear a lot of silence, if you hear a lot of buzzing and clicking, that's my camera, and there's not much I can do about it. Come here. Hello.
Thank you.
No problem. So anyway, hopefully you can't still hear it. I hope not. Well, this is it, and if you've seen any of my previous secret spot videos, I think there might be 2. I camped here once, set my snug pack bunker up about where Scraps is now. The hammock. See, this tree and this tree, I had a ridge line. I have hung a hammock here before, right between those 2 trees. And then the cooking area that I used was right over here. I always leave no trace, especially when I'm here. I don't want this turning into a campsite, but this was my cooking area, and it looks like it's nice and overgrown. So that's good. I'm kind of testing the waters here with Scraps. I took the leash off him. He's always been a leash dog, and I do it out of respect for other people, but we're up here alone. And so I'm hoping he'll just kind of explore and stay close to me. Just let him be a dog and do dog things. Huh, buddy? You having a good time? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to set up the hammock. It's my old blue hammock. I have a new one this year for camping. I plan on doing mostly hammock camping this season, but I didn't bring that. I brought my lounging hammock, the one I would use in my yard. It's really heavy. And we'll get that set up, and then I'll talk about the food situation. It's about lunchtime. We're doing something unique with the food today that I hope you guys will enjoy. Something that doesn't involve an MRE or mountain house or anything like that. So anyway, I'll shut up, I'll get the hammock set up, and we'll talk some more. I had some collapsible dog dishes, but I can't find them. They're a lot bigger than these collapsible cups. So Scraps is going to have to deal with what I brought him. Hopefully that doesn't tip over. Come here. Look what I brought. You got food and water. Look. Oh, there you go. Mostly thirsty, huh? You like dog food? What's that crap? Give me your food, huh? There you go. Some drink, huh? Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. There we go. Come here. I don't know if Scraps will get in a hammock or not. I've never tried. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here. Nah, he's good. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You want help? Come on. Come on. Come on. It's fun. No? Alright. I won't make him. Oh, that's good. These are the only 2 trees I can hang this hammock between in this little grove. This is where I've always hung a hammock. I know a lot of people are probably curious about why this is my secret spot, and it's not simply somewhere for me to go and camp and not be bothered, far away from people. It was supposed to be a special place for me and someone I was dating, and she is no longer in my life. I brought her here once, and only her, and no one else has ever been here with me. So Scraps and myself and that person that's not in my life anymore who chose to leave it, they're the only living creatures that know where this is other than the animals that live here. So this will be the last time I think I come here. I'm not positive. it's so peaceful and beautiful and green, but unfortunately in life we have things not work out the way we thought they would, and there are memories associated with this that trying to move on from. So if you keep going back to those places, there are all kinds of songs written about it, about walking by places we used to go together and that kind of thing, and it bringing back memories. And I typically avoid those places completely, whether it's a restaurant or a parking lot or a park or the middle of the mountains. Anywhere that I went with someone, that place is going to have memories for me, and it's memories, you know, can be good and positive. I have good memories of my late wife and the wonderful places we used to go together. That doesn't bother me, but when someone chooses to leave your life, it kind of leaves a different kind of memory, like what could have been, what would have been, what might have been. There's no closure. So frankly, when someone dumps you in a text message, it's time to move on. And that actually happened 2 years ago. 3 years ago was the last time I was here, and this was supposed to be our place to go, and it never worked out that way. In fact, she wanted me to find a place like this for us to just go and be together, and so I did. And she came here once and then never again. So it's just my spot and Scraps. He's just over there laying in the shade relaxing, and a couple of squirrels and some birds. There are mooses up here, there are deer up here. I don't think there are bears up here. Let's not find out. It's almost 1 p.m. I'm not super hungry yet, but I think I'll get lunch going. Let's talk about the food I brought and all kinds of burrs in my shoes and my pants from hiking from bushwhacking. So let's have lunch. And today on the menu is one of my last packages of a special kind of ramen that Joe told me about. My buddy Joe told me about this curry ramen that he found online. It's kind of pricey. It's like $25 a case. And I'm down to the last 2 packages, and we're going to have one of those packages and we're going to mix some stuff in with it. So that'll be lunch. Alright, so this was a lot more level and cleaned up when I was here. So we're going to have to just deal with nature taking over, 3 years of growth. We're using the S-Bit stove today. It's a little breezy off and on. Most of it's in the tops of the trees, so hopefully, you know, you'll probably hear it blowing, but it won't interfere too much with filming, I don't think. Okay, Crappy? Scraps is doing a great job hanging around me. He's not running off or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about him getting lost. He's being a good boy, huh? Yeah. What am I doing? What is this all about? Okay, we got the S-Bit cube going. Normally I put the ramen in first, but I don't want the pot getting too hot without something in it. So we'll do this a little backwards. And let's see. So most of the food on this outing It's being provided by my buddy Kent. This is the ramen that Joe suggested right here. I've had it before on other outings, so I'm down to 2, and I'm only gonna eat 1. My buddy Kent bought himself a freeze dryer. These are peppers that are going in our ramen. I've also got some ham that's going in, freeze dried. So sort of like Mountain House, but homemade. I looked into getting a freeze dryer and they are pretty expensive. So in the meantime, my buddy Kent keeps supplying me with a healthy amount of freeze dried food. So thanks, Kent. What am I doing? Scraps is watching me with great interest. This looks a lot better than dog food, doesn't it? Alright. You're supposed to add the oil after the noodles boil, but I add the seasoning during to help it soak up the flavor. This half of the packet is chili powder, and this half is the actual seasoning, and then there's some kind of seasoning oil. That's all it says. So I don't know what exactly kind of seasoning oil that is, but all right. There's that. We'll use our ramen bag as a garbage bag for now. I'm gonna put this foil up as a windscreen. It is kind of affecting the flame a little bit. Put our lid on. We'll stir some of this in once it gets going. There's not a lot of room in this pot. That's the only drawback to it. It's a really good cook pot, a really good stove system. I've used it for years now. The only problem is the pot is just kind of short and squatty. As far as volume goes, it holds as much as other pots, but it's more wide than tall, and so when I put stuff in, it tends to, when it floats to the top, it tends to take up a lot of room, and so this is going to be tricky getting all this in there. So we'll just wait for that to boil. I think once it boils, we'll add the meat and the peppers. I also brought this stuff, also given to me by my buddy Kent. This is from Perk Energy Mexican hot chocolate. Apparently it's caffeine free and also gives you plenty of energy somehow. Giving your morning a well-needed kick in the pants. Fight cravings, aid metabolism. Protein, collagen, no added sugar, antioxidants, gluten-free. So I've never had this before, never even heard of it. So we'll be having that as well. I'll put that with my little cup up here. I just realized I brought this red plastic lightweight bowl for this very purpose because I knew it would be a tight fit. So I think what I'm going to do is put the vegetables and the meat in this bowl and then add the ramen to it, because really these just need to be reconstituted for a few minutes in hot water, or plain water really. It doesn't have to be hot, but in this case I want my food to be warm. So there you go. Here's what the peppers kind of look like. Chances are my buddy grew these peppers. He has a garden that he plants every year. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that. So there's the colorful peppers we'll be adding to our ramen. That's probably good. We'll save those for another meal. I'll have to put these in a Ziploc now that I've broken the freeze dry seal. We'll tuck those back in here. We'll do some more exploring after we have lunch too. Ham 2022. See how that's doing. I may take a couple of aspic tablets to get this really cooked, the noodles. We'll add some ham. You can see there, freeze-dried ham, goodness. I can get my hand to go the right way. There you go. Adding some protein to our meal. That's looking good, huh? Gonna mix that up. Boy, just by itself, I think it looks pretty good. All right. Everything's freeze-dried today, even the ramen. Get that seasoning mixed in. Hey, come here. Don't go too far, buddy. What you doing? What am I doing? That smells good, huh? Yes, don't lick my fork. Don't lick it. Stop. I'll share. I'll give you a little bit, okay? All right. Okay, so we've already burned up an entire aspic cube, and it's made it nice and hot and moist. And I think instead of using another one, I'm just gonna go ahead and add this to it and let everything kind of hydrate. I'm not too worried about the ramen being cooked to perfection, and it is pretty hot. So we'll do that, and we'll add our oil. There's a lot of my shadow in this shot, sorry about that. I didn't put the camera in the right spot, I guess. Well, it was, but then I changed where I was sitting. So let's do that. Let's there. The sun is moving across the sky. So let's add that seasoning. Kind of hard to get it all out of the packet, and it gets all over your freaking fingers. It's good though, tasty. Let's set that aside. There's my spork. Let's get this all mixed in. The reason I like to bring a piece of foil with me so much is it's making a great windscreen, but also I've used it when I've caught a fish in the mountains. The Uinta Mountains, I've wrapped the fish in foil and cooked it over the fire. And right now I'm going to use it to kind of cover my bowl and let it hydrate. So always bring a good piece of foil with you. It has many uses. And the worst that can happen is it gets ruined and you replace it with another piece of foil. So there's a little hole right there. I'll try to cover that up. There we go. We'll just let that sit for a minute, and then now what we're going to do is heat some water for the Mexican hot chocolate. I'm going to rinse it out so I don't have ramen flavored hot chocolate. So how much am I supposed to add here? Probably 8 ounces, I would assume. Hot but not boiling water. 1 packet to 8 ounces. Yeah, pretty standard. So I am going to use another aspic tablet, but I would have used 3 if I had cooked the ramen to boiling. This probably won't boil the water. 8 ounces is about what I've got left in my bottle here. I've got another bottle of water. I brought 3 liters with me. So my pack will be lighter going out. Water weighs the most of anything in my pack. I'm getting a lot of flies showing up. It's really annoying. Problem is these cubes smell like fish, and I'm sure it's attracting these flies. Get off my freaking thing. Is that going? That's going. All right. Put it on. We'll have... Now I mentioned this in other videos. My buddy Joe gave me this cup. Of course, blue being my favorite color, if you haven't noticed. But I don't want to put this directly on a stove. I don't want the finish to be tarnished by different fuels, whether it's wood burning or espid or gas, whatever. So I never heat anything in this cup. I actually heat it here and then pour it in here. So I bring them both anyway. I might as well just do it that way so I don't ruin my cup. It kind of smells like rice pudding, to be honest. This Mexican hot chocolate. Alright. So nothing too spectacular. Looks like hot chocolate. I'm trying to, the camera's shadow is getting in the way, but you get the idea. Alright. So let's get that heated up and we'll retire to the hammock and have our lunch. Well, I was wrong. I accidentally got it boiling, so that didn't take long. It says not to boil the water, but too late, and I'm not going to wait for it to cool all the way down. So it just barely started boiling, so hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, I only like to drink out of this. I don't even like to stir in it. That sounds funny, but I don't want to scrape off any of the finish. I'm super anal about that. I don't know what my problem is. I just want it to keep that blue sheen, you know? Alright, there's our Mexican hot cocoa. And let's check the status here of our ramen. Yeah, that looks good. Everything's nice and soft. Looks delicious. Let's go to the hammock. Okay. First we'll sample the hot chocolate. Wow, that's really flavorful. It's really rich and sweet. You can't even tell it's sugar-free. Now it's time for the ramen. Want some? Here's some ham. He likes the ham. Wow. Those are some spicy peppers. I like it though, I like spicy. Everything hydrated nicely. It tastes delicious. This is probably some of the best ramen I've ever had, with the curry ramen mixed with the ham and the peppers. It's fantastic. It's really good. That's amazing. My mouth has adjusted to the peppers, so it's good. It's good spicy. Really good. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. That was bizarre. I was laying here in the hammock and I kept hearing a cracking noise off in the woods. And I thought maybe it was a moose or something walking through. And then I looked towards the sound. It was right up in these trees. A big branch just came crashing to the ground right up in there. Widowmaker. I've never actually seen a branch come down before. It's just whoosh. Big thud on the ground. So there's that old saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound if no one's around to hear it? I can tell you it does if you are around. That was loud. It's kind of crazy. And that is why when you set up a tent or a hammock, you always look above you, because you do not want dead and dying branches and trees hovering over your tent or hammock. It happens just that fast. Branch just dropped, and it was a big heavy one. So as you can see, I chose living trees to hold up my hammock, and any deadfall around here is already on the ground. This tree obviously fell at some time, so long ago that these smaller trees have grown up around it. And if you look around, all of these trees are living. That's why I like this grove. It's green and beautiful on the floor, and in the canopy. So yeah, I've been listening to this wind blow for quite some time now, and it's all high up in the trees. It's not coming through here. It's going right over our heads. It actually took that branch down, and I actually watched it happen. That's crazy. That has never happened in my entire life. I've never seen it happen. You always see deadfall and know that it fell at some point, but I've never seen it actually take place. The other reason I love this grove is because you have this combination of oak trees, not so many aspens up here, but if you just walk down the hill, there are aspen trees. And then you've got these spruces galore, just a few feet outside the grove. They're just nothing but spruce trees. As you can see, I cleaned up lunch. Can't really tell that I was ever here making food. That's the way I like to leave it. And it'll kind of grow in like it was when we got here. You can kind of see a pathway that I've forged walking back and forth, but that won't last. I've kind of trampled the plants. There's no way not to. But really, I'm almost ready. Scrap's here. He's a little freaked out. What's the matter? I think he's ready to get moving. He's not sure why we're just hanging out here. You can tell. His ears are back. He's trying to wag his tail and be positive. But he's like, what are we doing here? As I said before, we've been up here many times, and he has always been so excited to just explore and walk and run around, and he's not sure why we're just sitting here. He's never even been overnight camping with me, so this is kind of his break-in. He's been drinking his water. He hasn't really touched his food. I shared some of my ham with him. He liked that. I don't think he's too hungry. I'm hearing branches drop over in there. Just small ones, not big ones like that last one. So I just need to clean this up, and I had a nice relaxing time in the hammock, and we're gonna pack up and say goodbye to the secret spot. And we're gonna head back down to the trail, wherever it is, and I'll show you around a little bit more. You ready, buddy? You tired of sitting here? Kind of wondering what's going on? Yeah. Want to go for a walk? Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I want to go for a walk. I want to go for a walk. Please, let's go for a walk. Yes, good boy. Good boy. We'll go. Let me pack up. I just came across this tree. You can see it's leaning on that other tree up there, and here's why. Listen to that. Every time the wind blows, it gets a little weaker. And eventually it's going to fall right across here. Unless that other tree decides to hold it up forever, but you can hear it creaking. You can see it moving. It's breathing. Come, buddy. Scraps kind of had a hard time figuring out the fallen tree situation. He kept trying to go under them, but now he's got it figured out. He just goes right over them. In fact, he was walking right down the center of one a little bit ago. I'm pretty proud of him. I think a lot of his natural instincts are coming out, being out here in nature. And he seems to be happiest when we're moving and exploring. He wasn't sure what to think when I threw up the hammock and just laid down. I've never even seen him do that in my backyard, where he just lays and stares at me like, what are you doing? He's a good boy. He's still got some energy and some pep in his step. We've got a lot of adventures to have together. If you don't know, if you didn't see my video about my latest channel update a couple of videos back, my St. Bernard Bob passed away in January. He was 8.5. St. Bernards typically only live anywhere from 8 to 10 years. And so he's gone. And I always brought Bob Jr. on my outings, little figurine, my little mascot, because Bob himself would overheat on these trips and they were too much for him. So I would bring the mascot as sort of a support, and I would leave Scraps at home to keep Bob company. So that is why they've not really been in my videos for all this time that I've had them, as long as I've been making YouTube videos. I've been doing YouTube for 8.5 years. Come on, we're going this way. We're back on the path now. So Bob Jr. is no longer part of these trips because I retired him. And we're just, our new mascot is Scraps here. I'm gonna bring him on these outings. This gives me a lot more confidence. I wasn't sure how he would do hiking up somewhere, laying around, letting him off leash around camp. Would he take off? Would he be aggressive with other people's dogs? So far he's been really good. In fact, 2 golden retrievers walked by on the trail with their owners, of course, and Scraps, I said, lay down. He laid down, he crossed his paws, and he just watched him walk by. Blew my mind. I didn't teach him to do that. He just seemed to know that they were passing and we were going to let him pass. So I have had problems with him being aggressive towards other dogs in the past, and that's because he was abused before I adopted him. You could tell by his behavior. I've had to rebuild his confidence and let him know he's safe and loved. And we still have moments where I reach to pet him, and if I reach too quickly and he didn't expect it, he kind of does that. I guess because he was hit by whoever owned him before. And also around other dogs, he was probably picked on as a puppy by the other dogs that were around him. So he's doing really well. He's getting along better with dogs now. He always got along with Bob. They were best buddies. It's just strangers' dogs that he struggles with, and so I'm pretty proud of him today. He's done a good job not getting aggressive and staying in camp, and you can see he's kind of slowing down. He's not quite as energetic as he was on the way up. So let's take a look around this area and I'll show you some of the sights there are to see. As you can see, no one is here. People will walk through here occasionally. People will camp here, but rarely have I come up here and not eventually ended up with the whole place to myself. And that's fine. That's why I like this place so much. So here is our first campsite. I don't know how or why exactly this became a campsite. I have a picture of Dylan and Jude. I think they're hanging out on this log. We typically set our tent up right over here, or a hammock between these two trees. There's not a lot of good firewood around here. As you can see, there's a lot of piles of wood. And the reason why is that is oak, and oak does not burn well. It smolders. It's a very hard, dense wood, and it just doesn't take to flame very well. So it's quite beautiful here, peaceful. The trees back there used to have a lot more branches on them, the ones laying down on the ground, and also these taller ones. And that's because people have picked them clean. Anyway, so there's that campsite. And if we keep going this way, the path kind of goes from being just a single path like this into what used to be a road. And we'll show you right up here. Just a few years ago, you could see where tire tracks belonged, both along the side of the trail and the trail itself. The reason it's so worn down into a single path is because this is a very popular area for mountain biking now, and that's fine. It's just that it's gone from being a road. This entire area you're looking down was the campground road, and now it's just a pathway in and out to a beautiful meadow down there. The road curves around right up there where we were and winds through these trees and comes back around in a loop and connects to the road again. And the reason I'm not showing you that is because really there's nothing to see. But I will show you the remnants of the road. This doesn't look so much like a road here, but this is where the road comes out and meets the main road here. And you can see how it used to be a road. You can see both sides of where the tires would have been, the car driving through there. So this was all paved. It was just a regular campground that you paid to get into, and the only one of its kind up here. And now it's grassy and beautiful and being reclaimed by nature, except our trail. Now, where we started out the video, down here at the table, there are two different campsites with a table. Usually when I hike up here with Scraps and my kids, we hike up to the table, we sit down and rest, take a break, hydrate, and then hike back down to the car. So I've camped here many times. This is the most popular one because it's more open. You see the tables all broken and scratched up and carved into. I usually hang my hammock between these two trees here. And if I have a tent, I set it up here. Has a cooking area here. Some idiot took one of these stone blocks, moved it over here as a chair. That's kind of annoying. Here's the actual proper fire pit. And that trail goes nowhere, it just dead ends. So it's just a little campsite all by itself. Camped here many times. I have some good memories here too that I'm kind of up here to face and maybe leave behind. Found a lighter. The wind had stopped blowing. I could see if it works. Yep, it does. The wind keeps blowing it out. Cool. Add that to my collection. Here, buddy. Let me grab that for you. Now he's wondering why we stopped again. There's actually a mountain biker that stopped down there, and I kind of want to give him space so I can keep filming. Anyway, that's that. That's a campsite. Then our other campsite is right up here. Come on, go. Buddy, walk. He's so busy exploring, he's not moving. This one's not as nice and a little less noticeable. That other one's more popular, but there's also a table here. Come on, let's go. And it's pretty much identical. Got your fire pit, your table that's in much better shape because this isn't as noticeable from the trail. And of course a cooking area. I've camped here. This is where I camped in a hailstorm. I had my tent set up right back there, and I slept in the Sierra Designs tent. It was quite an adventure. That was June of 2020, I believe. I just hung out here by myself and had a good time. So that's all there is to this one. So after that, there are no campsites. This is National Forest Service area. So, you know, camp where you will, just be responsible. That beautiful view looking back, the trees that line the property, and it's just beautiful. It's stunning. And then you turn around this way and you walk right out into this amazing huge meadow. Go. There have been times I've been camping up here and I'm taking a walk in the evening or the morning, and there are deer in the field, in the meadow. You can see little pylons left over from the campground days. They kind of run right along the edge of the trail here. Also, this used to be a road going that way and going this way. You can hike a loop that goes all through there. I've done it before. It's in one of my videos way back. There's another camping table right at the trailhead, at the beginning of that loop. If you follow this trail up into there, it's sitting there, and I think it used to be a campsite. And they left that table there too. So, isn't that beautiful? Just stunning, very picturesque. So this is the main trail coming in down here. This is the way we came up, and this is where it gets populated by people. A lot of hikers come up here, and most of the time they don't even notice this turnoff going into the area we were just in. Most of the time they hike up through the meadow, maybe up the trail a ways, turn around, come back. So there are wild turkeys up here. I've run into mooses twice up here, usually in here. I think they like to avoid the people if they can. What you doing? You want to play in the grass? Play in the grass. He loves to grass surf. You know that makes me laugh. You clown. I have to keep backing up. He's actually moving. That's why I call it grass surfing. Are we ready? What are we gonna do now? I don't even know. Just that? Oh, you silly man. Fix your ear. Fix your ear. Shake your ears. It's like that Seinfeld episode. Fix your dog's ear. Well, at this point, that's all I really had planned, but I still have lots of time up here, so I'm not in a hurry to go back home. So we're done with that area. I think what we'll do is go out into the meadow. I don't really want to go up to the loop. I've done that too many times before. But there's a small trail splitting off of the main trail, and I've never gone up in there. So I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll go up in there. Okay, buddy? Let's go. So you can see the trail kind of goes this way and then it curves that way, and it's the little trail kind of going off that way that I kind of want to check out. So that's what I'm talking about now that we have a better view of it. Look at this incredible scenery. Pretty amazing. Literally takes me 20 minutes to get up here from my house. Okay, goodbye main trail. The trailhead, by the way, is right up there. And that's where the other table is, or at least it was. As far as I know, it's still there. Come on. There's actually a fire pit there, and people have lit fires in it. It's crazy. I'm thinking, right there, right at the trailhead. This looks like it used to be a road, doesn't it? So that's what this is, another old road. We'll see where this goes. Looks like it curves over this way. Come on, buddy. My guess is that this probably connects to the trailhead up here. It's kind of going that direction. Well, I was right. Straight ahead is the table and the trailhead. So that's all this is kind of an old road that looped right around the meadow. It's quite beautiful. So I'm just standing here before we go to the table right over there, waiting for a family with a couple of dogs to go by. I'm not sure if the dogs are leashed, and I'm just trying to stay out of their way. In the meantime, I figured this would be a good time to tell you that I've decided on my Utah Steve Outdoors official first ever overnight backpacking trip, where I'm inviting you, the viewer, to join me. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. We'll find out. It's going to be the weekend of the first weekend in July. I believe it's Saturday, July 2nd to Sunday, July 3rd. And the meeting place will be in the high Uintas at the Kuberant Basin Trailhead, which is actually titled the Pass Lake Trailhead. So across from Pass Lake in the Uintas. You can find it on a map. I don't know how exactly I would explain how to get there, but if you were looking for the Couberant Basin, you can find it on all trails. You can find it on various apps. It will happen in the early afternoon of Saturday, July 2nd, 2022. So if you're watching this later than 2022, it already happened. And the reason why I chose the Couberant Basin is because if you followed my channel at all for very long, every year I go up there and do a memorial trip to Garrett Bardsley, the 12-year-old Boy Scout who disappeared up there on a scouting trip back in 2004, August. I like to go back there and keep his memory alive. I like to try to figure out what may have happened to him. I'll link down below my most previous visit to the Couberant Basin, and you can check that out so you can see what it's all about. I did a whole series, which means several episodes of the same outing, which is what I like to do when I'm in the Uintas. So we will meet at the Pass Lake Trailhead. Early afternoon is I can't give an exact time because I'm gonna say 1 p.m. Things happen. Sometimes people are late, sometimes they're early. I may be before or shortly after, but right around there I will be at the trailhead. We're gonna backpack into the Couberant Basin, and we're going to backpack up to lake number 1, the biggest Couberant lake. I've never been there. We're gonna hike up to that. We're gonna spend the night. And we're gonna discuss Garrett Bardsley. And if many of you have never been there, I'll show you the areas where everything took place, and we can just discuss things and think about him, and who knows, maybe even find clues. I don't know if that's even gonna happen, but we can all discuss our different theories, our different thoughts. I thought it would be a good chance to meet everybody that can come, and also keep Garrett's memory alive. So that's Saturday, July 2nd, 2022, 1 p.m. at the Pass Lake Trailhead, which connects to the Couberant Basin. So you're not confused. If you have any questions, email me. My email's available. People email me all the time. I don't think it's listed. I can't even type it in the description. YouTube won't let me. I'll try. So it might be in the description below. Also, I'm thinking about getting a P.O. box because I've had more than one person, but most recently another person, offer to send me things that he wants to send me. I won't ever ask you to send me anything, but I am going to set up a P.O. box because I have had people want to send me things and I've had to actually give them my physical address, and I don't think that's such a good idea. So I'm gonna get a P.O. box. I'll let you know when that happens and what the address will be. If you want to send me something, I'm never gonna ask you to send me something. This has to be something where you just want to, not something where I'm asking you to. I won't ever do that. So basically, I'm only setting it up so people don't know exactly where I live. It's just not a good idea. Anyway, I'll let you know when I have more details on that. And that family has decided to sit at the table at the trailhead. So we're going to let them sit there and have their lunch. It looks like they even unpacked food and everything. See, if they knew about my spot down in there, they would have their privacy and not have to eat right at a trailhead. But I guess they hiked up here for a picnic, so we're not going that way. They have 2 dogs, and I don't know how that'll go with Scraps. Well, guys, to be honest, I don't know what else to do but hang out up here and relax and spend some more time, and I'm just gonna talk your ear off about nothing. So I think I'm gonna wrap the video right here. I wanna thank you for joining me on another outdoor adventure. I know it wasn't an overnighter. The next one will be, I promise. And it'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to meeting some of you if you're able to come to Utah. If you're not from Utah, if you're able to just make it up there that weekend. do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch. Get outside in nature. The views are spectacular. And if you can't get outside, come along with me and Scraps. We could use the company. I'm Utah Steve. See you in the next adventure. Thanks for watching. But I kind of want to. Mountain biker just whistled by. So I kind of need to shift gears. Here comes another one. Ding ding. This is gonna be too low. Anyway, yeah, lunch. Shut up, Steve. There's something floating in there. Get out. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's a bug. Hope it doesn't sting me. It's a little bee. Okay, there we go. Whoa! Way to go, Steve. Even put a little rescue pouch in there. What do you call those things? The moisture absorber. Moisture absorber. The moisture absorber pouch is. Never mind. So Bob Jr. is no part of. No. Just a few years ago, you could see distinctly on the side here where tire tracks were, and then the main path you see was the other sort of, you could see both sets of where tire tracks. What am I trying to say? Here's the actual proper fire pit. Scrap, stop. Stop. You're tangling up around my legs, dude. That's the place Bambi's mama warned you about.